Gotta love this. Let's help them from the New York Times here. Headline piece over the weekend dropped, and it's titled 6 months later. Democrats are still searching for the path forward. 6 months after President Trump swept the battleground states, the Democratic Party is still sifting through the wreckage. What a shame. What a shame.
Such a cute soundbite.
Its standing has plunged to startling new lows. 27% approval in a recent NBC News poll, the weakest in surveys dating to 1990, after a defeat that felt like both a political and cultural rejection in November. That's because it was. The New York Times adding here, communities that Democrats had come to count on for generations, including young people, black voters, and Latinos, all veered towards the right in 2024, some of them sharply. And unlike Mr. Trump's win in 2016, his victory last year could not be waved away as an outlier after he won the popular vote for the first time. So what do? Further down in the piece, this is the kicker. This is the gold mine. This is why I got to have some fun here. And I do try to give the New York Times a chance when I read this stuff. I always figure I'm digging for something good. And here's the gold mine. Democratic donors and strategists have been gathering at luxury hotels to discuss how to win back working class voters, commissioning new projects that can read like anthropological studies of people from faraway places. The New York Times is mocking them here. They're mocking them. The prospectus for one new $20 million effort obtained by the Times aims to reverse the erosion of Democratic support amongst young men, especially online. It is codenamed SAM, short for Speaking with American Men, a strategic plan, and promises investment to, quote, study the syntax, language, and content that gains attention and virality in these spaces. It recommends buying advertisements in video games, among other things. Above all, it urges we must shift from a moralizing tone. Okay, if you need $20 million to study why you are sucking wind with young men, then you literally do not understand why you are struggling with young men. Let's just start there, John. What do you say?
All over America, it'll be, damn it, Bobby, I told you not to answer the telephone. Crazy people in that video game advertisement.
That's what they're going to do with this $20 million. They are so out of touch. They create this weird strategic plan that they codename SAM, Speaking with American Men. You know how you speak with American men? Okay? Don't insult them. Don't play this game of, well, if you want to be a woman, you can. Don't also tell them that they are the problem in American culture in 2025. Why don't you start there and stop with all your dumb verbiage and your made-up words? And just drop all the nonsense. Boy, we spent the last 10 years basically attacking young men, and I don't know why they hate us.
Hey, buddy, I don't like your microaggression there.
No, I'm getting too worked up. I got to back off. It's a rainy Tuesday. But, like, if you don't understand how you got here, you're not going to understand how to solve the problem. Okay? That's number one. And when you look at how we got here, there's no doubt that Trump has an ability to connect, even though he's a wealthy billionaire from New York City. Trump has a unique ability to connect with people, more so men than women, obviously, in a way that is common sense, in a way that is relatable, it's funny, it's genuine. It's all these things that, frankly, the Democratic Party is not right now. They're appealing to the overeducated, woke, largely white constituency within their party, and that's where they're making the most gains. But when it comes to especially young men right now, they're not playing that game. You might get, Ben and Jerry's guys, like literally Ben and Jerry, the old hippies, old washed-up hippies, who are all in on this, all in on what that party is selling. But young men are waking up and they're like, basically, since I've been paying attention to the news, there has been one political party that has called me basically the problem in America. And now that political party is trying to figure out how to win me back. Well, I promise you, there is not a $20 million video game campaign that is going to solve that for you. There isn't. You might think that's the case, but it's not going to happen. And young American men having alternative media, having social media, has actually been a tremendous opportunity for people to open up their eyes and look at things from a different perspective. And that has actually been something that has hurt the Democratic Party and the establishment at large. 913-408-7957. So I don't want to give them too many ideas here, but I'm happy to just give them some common sense analysis as to how they got here and how they're not going to turn the page magically by the 2026 midterms by putting up a bunch of ads on video games that they think are popular with the kids these days.
I'm surprised they're doing a study. I thought they had it all figured out. They said Tim Wall's out there. He speaks the code, right?
Yes, that's right. He was the guy who was going to crack the code for young men, especially white guys.
They don't need to spend this money.
Tim Walls. Another one of their great screw-ups, thinking that Tim Walls was going to be the guy that was going to be like the code cracker for young white men to vote for Kamala Harris. Tim Walls. Take the people who made these decisions, toss them to the curb, and make sure they never have any power ever again in your party. That's step one. Step two is don't have Pete Buttigieg grow a beard and then just tell me that's the definition of a manly man. That's the other thing that, people aren't interested in being sold on. They're trying to jam that square peg into a round hole and make you like it. And then if you don't like it, what do they say? Well, you're a racist, you're a misogynist.
Homophobe, misogynist.
I mean, they call you every name in the book, right? They then hate you if you do not acquiesce to their demands and their view of the world. And people are over that, man. They're done. And there's not a study that's going to fix it for you guys. 913-408-7957. Let's go to Lee Summit. Bob's there. Hey, Bob, go ahead.
Oh, hey, how you doing? I wanted to comment on these Democrats and why young men can't stand these Democrats. They probably woke up one day and they saw that Biden had a bunch of weirdos in his cabinet that were walking around with dresses on and high heels and wigs, pretending to be girls. And, there's still guys out there that don't like that. So that was a big turnoff for a lot of guys that woke up one day and said, my God, what are these people doing?
Well, that's a good, that's a direct point, Bob. Can't argue with that. It's certainly, if I'm trying to preach masculinity and preach like, hey, young men, it's safe to be here, join us. Yeah, that's not exactly what I would be doing either. You're right about that. I'm glad you brought up that point as well. They are trying to sell you on this idea that the least masculine men that you know and you hang out with are the new definition of masculinity. And guess what? Most dudes, I'm just sitting here as one in my mid-30s, like, yeah, they ain't into that. They're not buying that. They don't want any part of it. And no matter how hard you try, you're not going to solve it overnight. I mean, think about some of the things that they've claimed are right-wing. Red meat. Eating red meat was like a right-wing thing for a while. Working out, right, is right-wing. What else? Oh, liking really good-looking women. That's somehow misogynistic and right-wing.
Delayed gratification. In other words, to work for something to save.
Yeah, that's true as well. Not wanting, the government to bail out your student loan debt. Mm-hmm. Somehow that's just like a right-wing trope. It's like, now we need $20 million to understand why young men can't stand us. Well, you've done it to yourselves, and it's taken you about 10 years to get here. If you think you're going to reverse the trend in a year by running some ads on, like, video games, I promise you, you're going to be sorely mistaken, especially when you keep making the same problems. There's no evidence that they're admitting to what their screw-ups have been for the last decade.
Long, long way from MTV days of '92 when Bill Clinton was one of the coolest guys on the planet.
Yes,
right.
and even Obama, right?
Yeah,
Obama was
right.
cool,
smooth.
He was smooth. I mean, that was my first presidential election I could vote in. All the young people loved Obama, and look at what they've done to their own political party in less than 2 decades. They've destroyed it.
Well, I think Hillary's one of the more dominant male figures, probably, for them.
Yes.
Certainly the noisiest.
Show some RESPICT.
Sorry, it's Monday.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Okay. That's
Feels
all right.
like Monday.
Yeah, it does. Those are the kind of mistakes that they just spent the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years making, and it will take them years to dig out of it. And I need a lot more evidence to suggest they're serious about turning the corner.